Morning. Happy e-learning part three of this week. This is kind of weird. We're only going to do part of this lesson. We're only going to do the front page. And you will have a slight assignment, but it's little. It's only 8 questions, and it's just over this front page, and then there's like 3 review problems from the past couple assignments, okay? So I'm doing this for a reason, because I want to save the back page for when we're actually in person, because usually that's has more questions and stuff. So we're going to talk about just multiplying monomials today, okay? So pretty much just this guy. So we're going to take a polynomial, but we're multiplying it by a monomial. Remember, polynomial means there's a bunch of terms. Monomial means there's one. So we're just going to multiply something that has a bunch by 1, and its distribution, okay? So, but first I want to talk about this, and this is actually really important, so don't just zone out here because it's just words. But this is important because yesterday I made a lot of emphasis, I guess, on the fact that we never change our exponents when we add. So look at that first one. This is from the past couple of days. Simplify 5x cubed plus 2x cubed. Yesterday, remember, I always said exponents don't change, we just add the numbers in front, the coefficients. So here the answer would be 7x cubed. The x cubed does not change. Why? Because of addition. When addition is happening, the exponents do not change, okay? So underline this, circle it or something. When there is addition, your exponents don't change, you just add the numbers in front. But now, so there's just these two that you gotta know the difference and know when to do what. Today, we're gonna be multiplying, and we spent a whole last unit, talking about exponents, like when we multiply, when we divide, and all of that, okay? So simplify a to the 4th times a squared. You have to think back, when we have 2 different a's, what do we do with the exponents? They do change here, and your answer here is I'll write it out first, 4 plus 2, which equals a to the 6th. So you got to remember that from last unit. When you have multiple a's, you're adding those exponents together to simplify it. When we have addition as the actual problem, nothing changes with the exponents. But when we're multiplying, you add the exponents, okay? So just to put that in words, when we're multiplying 2 different things, does the exponent change? Yes, it does here, and we added them. Okay, so we're going to do a lot of adding exponents today. Got to remember that from last unit. So I will remind you as we go. Okay, so summary, just to kind of put it in words here. When adding or subtracting, because those are buddies, when we are adding or subtracting terms, the exponent does not change. But in multiplying or dividing, because those are buddies, remember for dividing we subtracted, those exponents do change. So if you want to put that down below here, remember when we multiply things, we add the exponents. And when we divide, we subtract the exponents, if you want to jot that down. But we're not going to do a bunch of dividing today. We're going to really focus on that first one when we multiply. Okay, so I'm just going to take you through, it looks like 4 different examples, and hopefully that you'll start getting a hang of it, okay? So it is exactly what it looks like. Back in the day, it's just longer problems. Back in the day, when we have a number out in front of parentheses, what did we do? We distributed. So maybe jot that down, just so you remember that is what we're doing today. 3 has to go with each part of this polynomial, okay? So here I'm going to write it out like this, just for the first couple, so that you see what's happening. I'm getting a 3 is getting the x squared, plus 3 is getting the 4x, and then plus 3 is also multiplying by a -5. See how I just gave a 3 to each part of that? Then you just do the math and clean it up. So 3 times x squared is literally just 3x squared. Nothing really changes with that. 3 times 4x is 12x. You just multiply the coefficients because it's multiplication. And then 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, so you would just put minus 15. Do not put plus minus, you will get that wrong in Go Formative, okay? And you're going to see why I set it up like this when we get to this next one, because watch when we distribute this next one. 4b has to go with each of these, okay? So I'm going to write it out just like I did above there, because this is going to help you with the exponents and what to do. So I'm going to write 4b goes with the 5b squared, plus, I always do plus, and then the signs come with the things that it is distributing to. 4b also goes with the negative b, and the 4b goes with the 1. And it's multiplication. So let's just talk this through. I want to first go and put little placeholders in there. You have to think, what is really with that 4b? The b has a power, but what is the power? Hopefully you have it in your brain already that these all have b's that are 1, okay? Another thing I want to go fill in there is that negative b really just has a negative 1 in front of it. So that's what I will multiply with the 4, okay? And I missed another b. This b also has a 1. So if you go put those 1s, it's going to help you with your addition with your exponents, because if you forget that, it's easy to misadd, okay? So let's go back and start cleaning it up a little bit. So this first term, 4b to the first times 5b to the second. If you recall, I'm just going to jot this down, you don't have to. These are the type that we would reorder. Remember this back in the day? That's what you're doing. You don't have to write that out if you don't want to, but if you're getting stuck, that's the process. So my first term is 20b to the third, because b1 and b2 make b3. I'll write it out for the second one too. So I'm going to reorder 4 times negative 1 times b1 times b1. So what I get for that second term is minus, because 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, minus 4b squared. And that last term, anything times 1 is just itself. So don't forget that it's not 1, it is just plus 4b, okay? So I want you to give 3 a shot. I'll pause it here, I'll give you some time. All right, so here I'm going to start putting it up here. If you started getting the hang of it, hopefully you will get this answer. So 7h to the third has to go with each part. So 7h to the third goes with 3h to the fourth, plus 7h to the third goes to the 2h. And I am going to go put my 1 in with this h, just so I know, okay? And just to show you one more time what's happening here, if I reorder it, this is what's happening for the first one. 7 times 3 is 21, and then the h's combined with addition, so it would be h7, hopefully you got that. And the last one would be a 14h to the fourth. Okay, if you need to see that again, it's because 7 times 2 is 14, and then h3 and h1 become h4. If you forget that 1, that's the most common thing. People will just put h3, but you have to add the 1. There's an extra h, okay? All right, fun part here down here. And actually doing the purple process might help you in this. I'm giving a 2ab to the third to each of these. So you will want to write this out. It is hard to do in your head. So I'm going to write it out down here. So 2a really has a 1. I'm going to put that in right now. b3 gets a 4a squared b1. And then plus, and then the 2a to the first gets a b, or b3 also gets a negative 5b to the fourth. Notice there's no a in that one. We'll get to that in a second here, like how to handle that. So I'm going to do the purple part on this one just because there's a's and b's, so that can get kind of confusing. But if you take the time to reorder, it's going to help you keep things organized. So for this first term that I distributed, I'm going to put the 2 out in front with the 4. Then I'm going to put my A1 and my A2 next to each other. And then put my B's, B3, B1. See how that can help you really get to that answer quicker? So I'm just going to do it right below here instead of the line. 2 times 4 is 8. A to the 1 and 2 give me 3. And B, 3 and 1 give me 4. So that's my first term. So I'm going to go write that on the line. Pause. I want you to try to get that second one. All right. So here it is. You should have, I reordered it, so you see me putting the 2 and the -5 together. That gets me -10 when I multiply. Notice where I still write the A1. It is not being combined with anything, but it still needs to go in there, like you put it in alphabetical order if you want to get the green bubble and go formative. So stick it right in there. It doesn't combine with anything. It just drops down. So A, you don't have to put the 1. Don't put the 1 and go formative. And then B3 and B4 give me B7. So I'm just going to go put that on the line up here. -10, A, B to the 7th. So that is what I would type into go formative. Okay? So again, if you need help, like rewatch that, because I think like seeing the process again might just help people. And then get that go formative done. Again, 8 questions. I think only 5 of them are this new stuff. Email me if you have any questions, and I will see you on Monday.